We're going to do something new next year. Yeah, we won't be, when I start talking on the kingdom, I'm not going to share that. That's going to be my book, so on the kingdom, so I'm going to keep that in-house. All right, we'll log it on YouTube and see what happens, but other than that. All right, Isaiah 11. Isaiah 11. Isaiah 11. You know the two verses by now, right? Y'all remember two verses from Isaiah? Are we able to get it up on the screen yet or what? Let's rock and roll then. Let's rock and roll. You know where we at? I'm going to let you figure that one out. You know where we are. We ain't going too far. Everybody know where we are, right? What verse? All right, let's rock and roll. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people which shall be left from Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Cush. We already tackled those four places, right? We stopped midway on Elam, Shinar, Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. I was so excited this week. I said, I'm going to be done on Sunday. Forgot I left one out. I told Prophet, I said, my goodness. So we're going to knock it out Wednesday. Amen. I know it's going to be, we're going to cross the threshold. We're going to cross over to 2019 with a little bit left of, my intent was to get it done in 2018, but, well, anyhow. So we went through Assyria. We talked about being connected to God and the success that God has afforded us. Then we talked about Egypt. Egypt is simply, it's a mindset that's connected to the world, and it's too much to even mention. Pathros, which was my favorite because it has to do with the provision of the cross and what Jesus supplied for us. You know, we don't have to be dry. I know some of us are dry for a variety of reasons, but we don't have to be dry. We carry a supply source on the inside of us. And once you get around certain ministries, they have a tendency to open it up for you. Cush, we already said. Cush is not a black person. Cush is not an Asiatic brother, a Nubian person. It has nothing to do with skin color. Cush is a mindset as well. All of these are mindsets. And Cush has to do with darkness. I mean, no, God has called us out of darkness. Amen. I mean, there's some works in darkness. Yeah. And what did we say about the darkness? Ignorance, basically. If we could put it all under one heading, it would be ignorance. And the reason why you still, find yourself in the dark, sometimes, is because of, the lack of ignorance, or you just made up your mind you want to do what you want to do, which is to ignore the principles that God has, right? So it's not necessarily just me that I don't know. Sometimes we are ignorant. Anyway, okay. But, so we talked about it. Then Elam, that's what we stopped over in Elam. And Elam is very important because we talked on, what did we say about Elam? Elam what? Hide to be hidden or concealed. I mean, most of us lived all our lives hiding, concealing, secretive, just doing things, and some of it by design, but most of what we found ourselves doing is by default because of what we've been exposed to. Adam, the federal head of our first birth was Adam. He hid himself. And as a result, we've been hiding ourselves. That's why we stopped over in Genesis. We started in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, verses 1 through 10. And the voice of the Lord was walking in the cool of the day. It was a fellowship that God had given his man. And most of us don't understand that the things we hide and conceive and we contrive in our hearts keeps us away from the presence of God. Ultimately, that's what it's all about, presence of God. That's what, that's the man, Adam, was created to be able to interact with the presence of God. So we need to know that the presence of God should be first and foremost in our minds. Not just the teaching, the instructions, the disciplines are good, study is good, but the sum total of those different disciplines is to have a better understanding of the one who abides with us. See, Adam didn't have the luxuries like we have. He abides in us. In the Old Testament, they only could walk with God. Now God walks in us. God has a chance to live his life through me. I mean, come on now. I thought that, well, maybe I'm in the wrong place this morning. But we need to know that it's very important for us to get to where the presence of God is first and foremost in our life. That's why we walk holy. That's why we live holy. That's why we don't go to clubs and bars. It's not about a hell. It's about a life. And that life has to have an objective. And the objective of that life is to understand the presence of God. It's the central theme of our life. People come around us, they should notice something different, tangibly. Not theoretically, but tangibly. You know what I'm saying? They'd be able to say, man, this is something on you, something around you. His life should emanate from us. And we've hid ourselves. That's what Isaiah 53:3 says. We've hid ourselves from the face of him. That's why he asks Adam, where are you? And from time to time, God, you can hear God's searchlight on the inside of you, the voice of God walking in the cool of your garden, in the cool of the day, trying to say, what the heck are you? What are you doing here? Remember Elijah when he got into something? And he, you know, of course, Jezebel was after him, and, you know, once a woman chased you, you know, a woman scorned. Anyway, he got chased by that woman and hid himself. I mean, he just did a great feat and destroyed all the prophets by his own hand. Opened up the heavens and still ran. Yeah, that's the part of the Superman package y'all don't know nothing about. Everybody think Apostle Steve supposed to be on top of the mountain. So I'm here to tell you, that's for fellowship. But I got to come down to the base of the mountain, just like Elijah came to the base of the mountain and he ran. Am I right? And he was gone for 40 days. And God came, it wasn't like God didn't know where he was at. God came down to him and said, what the heck are you doing in the mountain, man? Why are you hiding? And that's what the enemy wants us to do. He wants us to hide from our true identity. Because it's never about what we do, it's who we know. It was the assignment he had. He said, since you don't understand who you are and you hid yourself from me, I'm going to take your administration and give it to someone else. Am I right? Do y'all need me to go to the scripture? I'm paraphrasing it. In there, he said, because you didn't understand the sanctification of the call, I'm going to raise somebody up in your room. Okay, let's go there. Because y'all ain't getting it. Let's go. First King. Come on. Oh, Lord. Get up here, boy. I have it all. I have it scripted. I have everything what I want to do. Then I get up in here. And then I start hearing things. And, you know, yeah. Okay. 1 King 19. Verse 1 to 3, he flees from Jezebel. Verse 4 to 8, he want to die. Kill me. All right? So he is self-pity now. Verse 9, he said, and he came hither to a cave and lodged there, and behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he said unto him, hey, what the heck are you doing here, Elijah? And he said, I've been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken the covenant, thrown down the altars, and slain the prophet with the sword, and I am left. That's what happens. That's what always happens when you start hiding yourself from God. You get a different perspective. But it said all of a sudden a great and strong wind comes, then an earthquake comes, and a fire comes. Then he heard a still small voice. See what happened? He's so used to demonstration that he was missing God. Because these were the qualities, the quantitative effects of his ministry. He carried a heavy mantle. But God wanted to switch things up. So God had to come another way because of the conflict he had in Jezebel. So he couldn't use his anointing to hide anymore. Okay, yeah. So he had to get down to what was important, fellowship. The still small voice. And so he wrapped himself up in it and everything. But go down to 19. I ain't got time to talk about all this. About the 7,000 and the 7,000. And if we know a day is 1,000 years, 7,000, 7. Okay. verse 19. So he departed hence and found Elisha. So now matter of fact, let's go to 15. And the Lord said unto him, go return unto thy way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria, and Jehu the son of Nimshi shall thou anoint to be king over Israel, and Elisha the son of Japheth of Abel Maholah, which is the dancing of the metals, which is a whole other message, shall thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. It shall come to pass that him that escapeth the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escapeth from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. Yet I have, boy, that's just too much. Yet I have left me thousands upon thousands. Why? Because he gave up his room. So God says, I'm not going to allow your disposition to frustrate what I'm going to do in the earth. I will find somebody else to get the job done. Well, that should make you go, that should make you cringe a little bit. But anyhow, so he hid himself, right? And so we cannot hide ourselves anymore. We can't draw away. That's why we went to Psalm 73. We don't want to draw away. We don't want to go whoring after other things and other thoughts. Am I right? You know, we want to come to the light. We want to draw near. And do I have anybody want to draw near? I want to draw near. I want to draw near. You know, it says in James 4 and 8, 4 and 7, it says you got to submit to God and resist the devil. And then you can draw near. Verse 8, he said, draw near, you hypocrites. No, he said, draw near, you sinners. Oh, I almost forgot that one. And he told them, sanctify your hearts, you hypocrites.
Yes, come on.
Yeah, I know. But we got to come to the light. We can't hide anymore. His light is not coming to judge us. It's coming to judge the things that's in us. That's why we come to the light. So he can search our hearts and see if there be any wicked thing in us that he can lead us